Everyone, it looks like I'm live. Oh, yes, there's the live icon. Jason, I saw your name before I saw the live button. So, hello and welcome to my first Spill the Tea I Write Out Loud live. Oh, and here's Kira right on cue, just weighing in with her thoughts and opinions. There she is. The trouble is, in this spot, I am sitting in front of a window, and she is looking out at our busy street and protecting me, us, all of us. She's protecting all of us. Kira, you need to calm down. We're doing a live here. I'm going to give a few minutes to give folks a chance to join. I have no idea how many people will show up because this is the first time ever that I have done a podcast for paid subscribers. This is a behind the scenes. It is a benefit of being a paid subscriber, and I've never done this before. I'm kind of excited about it. And I'm definitely excited to spill the tea about these essays that I've written, to talk about what's to come this week. And I don't know, to have a few anecdotes about the Super Bowl. Thank you for joining me on Super Bowl Sunday. If you needed proof of how not sportsy I am, my home team is in the Super Bowl, Seahawks. The musical guests could not be more perfect. Like, my immense gratitude and kudos to whomever picked Bad Bunny and Green Day to piss off this regime. I'm thrilled about it. And yet I'm still so indifferent to it that I forgot when I scheduled this that it was Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm not sure I'm actually going to watch. I might. I don't, this is a confession about me. I don't know how to use a television anymore. If something isn't streaming on like Netflix or Hulu or, Prime or one of those services, I don't know how to find and watch it, even if I want to. So if you all have advice for me on how I could tune into the Super Bowl if I want to, I would take it. But most likely, um, I will be writing today. Does that make me a bad person? It might make me a bad person. Puppy Bowl for the win. Yeah, I would love a Puppy Bowl, and Bad Bunny for the win. I mean, he has vowed to go all out to piss off the right sorts of people. I will also admit that I'm not familiar with his music, but I intend to get more familiar. My kids really like him, but they haven't played him for me, I don't think. So, oh, you're such a good dog. So I'm thrilled about him playing the Super Bowl. I'm thrilled that Trump is so angry about it. I love all of it. I use the antenna. So you're super old school, Jason. I don't have an antenna. I wouldn't know how to hook up an antenna. Like, I'm not hardware savvy. It's one of those things, like, you tell me to fax or print something, and I'm like, I'm out if I can't use the app to do it. Like, absolutely not. I have a printer. It is dormant. Every time I get cartridges for it, it's a fortune, and then they stop working in 2 seconds. I can't deal with printers. I'm sure you'll be able to stream halftime after the yeah, for sure, I can go back and watch that. So, I am hoping the Seahawks win. In addition to it being my hometown and making folks I love very happy, there's just no question that the New England Patriots are a bunch of a-holes and Seattle folks are cool. And the owners of the team, the owners of the Patriots, are huge Trump supporters. And I can't remember her name, but we have a woman in charge here at the Seahawks, and she is politically amazing. So, cross all the fingers that the Seahawks pull off a win. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We are here to talk about I Write Out Loud. And I thought I'd structure this as talking about the essays from last week, and then also getting your feedback for what I should do for next week. And I finally got my mouse working. This mouse, every time I turn my computer off, it has the lovely feature of I have to reconnect it. So I have like 50 instances of it as not connected, and then the newest one comes in like it's brand new every time. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but also, I haven't fixed it. So some things are just not worth fixing, right? I look very red in the chat. Look at my hair and this cardigan matching. But I will say hello, all. Thank you for joining. Here's a funny logistics question for you. I have never set up a live for paid subscribers before. And it's intended to be paid subscribers for I Write Out Loud, but I think it goes to paid subscribers for any of the publications I'm part of. Can you all attest to that? Like, I think that some of you in this chat are paid subscribers to the Daily Whatever Gen Xe, and not I Write Out Loud. Is that correct? If you all can verify. I'm just curious how Substack works. I am A-okay with folks who are paid subscribers to Gen Xe, coming for this behind the scene view. Gen Xe and I Write Out Loud are both deeply mine. And so I'm A-okay with that. The one thing that would be weird is if anyone who subscribes to Blue Amp has access to this, because I am part of Blue Amp, but you paid for both, Olenea. You're the sweetest. And you have a gift subscription courtesy of Shayla. I love that, Jason. Okay. So I'm very curious how it works. I'm assuming with the low numbers of how many folks are here so far that it is not going out to all Blue Amp subscribers because there are thousands and they don't necessarily know me and my writing. It would be, okay, oh, Shayla, you're so sweet. I paid for both you guys. I appreciate your support so much. We'll see how it works over time, I guess. I kind of don't mind either way. Diane is from Gen Xe. Okay. Thank you for confirming that. I had a feeling like I didn't think of it when I set it up, but I don't remember it asking for publication. It just said paid subscribers. So that is A-okay. We are at 8 folks here, and you know 8s are my kind of special number. So I think we'll get started. I am going to spill the tea, but not this tea. Believe it or not, this is still my first morning cup of tea. I slept in a little bit today, which felt amazing. Okay, I have to pull up my notes because my brain is Swiss cheese. And if I don't have notes, I might forget some of the things I wanted to talk about. So let me scroll up here to where I have these. I wonder if I could turn. I don't want to just read out loud. Quick, freeze the chat before you get to 9. No, let's see if we can get to 18. Like, let's make the next landmark, right? Okay. So, my opening thoughts here, because I do want to lead with that transition from the chit chat to the opening monologue. So, last week I posted 5 stories. It was the first week of I Write Out Loud, which is my new home for my creative nonfiction writing, the memoir writing that I love doing the most. And I want to make a home that is beautiful, accessible, and kind of the resting place sounds so morbid, like it's dying, but the place where my memoir writing lives and breathes and rests and stays. I have stuff all over the internet, and I wanted to make a home, and that's what the intent of this is. So I will be bringing over the best of my previous writing, and I will also be posting all of my new writing here. And when it lives here, you'll know it because it will have a very distinct look and feel. I have brand colors now. It will have audio recordings recorded by me and my voice so that folks who prefer to listen than to read can hear it as I intended it to be heard, not by an AI bot reading it. And also, I'm going to do these lives to talk about or to do a live each day to talk about that essay. And then at the end of the week, for my paid subscribers, I'm going to do a behind the scenes. What else did I not talk about? I'm calling it Spill the Tea, but it won't be too salacious, I don't think. You never know. Maybe I'll get motivated to give some super tea behind the scenes. But it's more just a deeper dive into exploring. It's wrapping up loose ends that maybe weren't known last week. And that's what I'm here to do today. So I am going to talk about the stories from last week in reverse order, starting with the Friday story, going back to the Monday story, because the Monday story was the new one. And it's kind of the juiciest one, I think. So I'm looking at my notes here to see if I forgot anything. I'll just jump right into the stories. So the Thursday and Friday stories were like sister stories. They were the same story written through two different lenses, and they are both about my daughter leaving for college. One was facing down my grief as a mom that I will be feeling, and the other is facing down my fear about the political climate. The story before that one was about my journey with GLP-1s, but more importantly, it's about facing down my family of origin narratives about food and diet culture and body image. The story on Tuesday was about my father and his dementia and what I learned when I went to visit him last year, what became apparent in his um, new pattern of starting to integrate stories about himself that are not true. Until now, his dementia has always been rooted in truth and reality, and it's starting to become more fictionalized and sensationalized, and what I think that means. And then the very first story was called The Men Who Open Me. And it was a story about parasocial relationships that single women like me have when we date men who can open us online, who can read, who can read my stories, listen to my podcasts, learn about me, and what happens after they leave when they fail to show up for me, but they continue to show up for me virtually. That one kind of has the most tea to spill, I think, because I have updates on what actually happened to the men with the men I wrote about. Forgive me, my glasses. I went to the eye doctor last week and I need to get new frames because I think these frames are a little scratched up. They will be the same frames, to be clear, like the same style, but I need a slight upgrade to my prescription and just new glass because they're a little scratched. Hi, Amanda. Nice to see you joining. So, I'm going to jump in here. You'll see me looking off to the side sometimes because I have notes. I'm trying to not just come forward and like blah, 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 blah at you. I want to have a measured conversation about each of these because I have thought a lot about what I want to share behind the scenes. And then when that's done, I'm going to talk about what's to come next week. And I'm kind of facing down, I have a new story that's like 92% done. I was just reviewing it before I came on, and I'm pretty excited about it. So I'll share a little about what that's going to be. And then I wanted to get your input because I see two kind of paths for next week, and I want to hear which one you like better, and I'll go down that path. So the updates on the two stories I wrote about my older daughter getting ready for college and both my fear and my forthcoming grief about her leaving. I wanted to share her art here. And because I'm doing this directly in Substack and not through StreamYard, I don't have a way to screen share while we're here. And I didn't want to just make a public post sharing all of her art. So I need to figure out a way to do it. You know what? You know what? I just thought of it as we're talking. When I post the recap of this, it will be for paid subscribers only, and I will include some of her art there. I didn't want to make a public post or ahead of this or send you off to her personal like Instagram pages to see it because it's her story now too. I mean, it always was, but it especially is now. She's an adult, she's online, and I want to be a little protective of what I share of hers. So the art, I will post a few additional pieces in her in the recap. God, where was my vocabulary there? I did also, the reason I just paused there is because my brain hit another idea of, or I could just go grab something and show it to you. But I don't think I'm going to get up and do that and give you the tour of my messy house. That doesn't seem like compelling content. She has not yet made a decision about school. We have not heard back. There's still a few schools we're waiting to hear back from, and no news this week. But one thing that did change is for one of the schools she's considering, and it is one of the design schools she's considering. She this is so cool kids can do this these days. On Instagram, found this, like, tag or group of, incoming students for next year, and she joined it, and she used the tag and said, "I'm so and so, I live here, I have not yet decided, but this is one of my top choices." And through that and then posted a bunch of photos. Through that, a bunch of kids, I shouldn't call them kids, a bunch of young adults, incoming freshmen, reached out to her, and she is now, like, constantly in group chats with them, and last night, she or 2 nights ago, she was on the phone with them for hours. Like, or not like this, because they were video calling. She was in my bedroom because she's like, "The light's better in there, mom." She wanted to look good. One of them already asked if they could be roommates. So, this is the school where she should probably go. This has always been the school to beat. It is in a red state. It is far away. A blue dot in a red state, but it is in a red state. So, and it is quite far away. So, I both really think she should go there and also have real reservations about her going there. And it's such I can't reconcile that duality, right? Um, I'm also worried I'm gonna give away too many clues and you all will know what school it is. And I wouldn't mind if just the 10 of you here now knew, but I don't want the internet to know where my child goes to school for safety reasons. But that is the update on my daughter's college choice. She has still not decided if it will be art and design versus liberal arts, nor where she will go. But she seems to be socially aligning herself with this group. She has not, they're all, I think all the schools have this presence where you can tag yourself. And I want to say it's an app that you join then, and then you get to connect with people more deeply. She's only done it for this school. So, yeah, that is the update on the two college related stories that I posted Thursday and Friday of last week. For the GLP-1 story, so this is a really interesting story, and I wrote it quite intentionally last year, and I wrote it at a point where it was finally working. It took a lot to admit that I was like, "I need help," and I think that comes through in the article that I'm like, "I need help in order to, um, have my body look and feel the way I want it to look and feel." And so I got on these medications, and part of it was for my health because my cholesterol had gotten a little high for the first time in my life. I looked to my father, who is morbidly obese, and I see how he cannot, if he falls on the ground in the memory care, they have to literally call 911 to send some strapping, help paramedics, 3 or 4 men to pick him up off the floor. I don't want that in my future. So, um, it took a lot to admit it, and I had, seen friends and celebrities, the friends had more of an impact, use these medications and then, like, quite easily slim down. That has not been the case for me. It was really slow going at the beginning. It took months until weight really started to come off, and then it did, and that was exciting, and I could really feel the difference, and I write about that difference in this story that published in July of last year originally, of how, like, the food noise quieted. I did not have to think about weight loss or food at all. I simply ate less of everything, and the weight came off, and that felt amazing. Um, and I recognize that that can sound lazy, but it was intentional because in the times in my life when I have dieted, it becomes like the project. It's pretty consuming. There's something funny about that word, right? Consuming, double meaning. But it is. It becomes the extra thing I do. And I have to focus very hard on what I'm eating and not eating, tracking it, preparing the right foods, going to the gym. It's a ton of vigilance. And I don't have space for that in my life right now. It's not where I want to be focused. So it felt really good that the meds took care of that and that the weight started coming off. So I had lost about 20 pounds when that story started. I'd wanted to lose about 60, so I got about a third of the way to my goal. See, I'm good at math in addition to writing. Um, and then it really plateaued. Um, I was still taking the meds for a while, but I was holding steady and not losing weight. And I felt like that feeling, that like enough, that quiet whispering that I described in the story, it mostly went away. I ended up stopping the meds toward the end of last year because I was having some gut pain and the doctor was like, it shouldn't be related to that. And I'm like, okay, it shouldn't be, but maybe it is. And so I stopped it for a bit and um, it didn't change the gut pain that I was having at all. And so um, I had intended to go, at that point, I had filled the prescription twice. I was with hers, the internet company. They are not sponsoring this video, but hit me up if you want to. Hers. I don't know if I'm the best endorser of the product. Um, but I decided to use out the rest of my prescription. Um, and then they filled it again. And it's very expensive. It's $1,500 for 6 months. So it was a big hit. And I thought I only had a prescription for a year, so I didn't have to cancel. It would just lapse. But no, they filled it again. And once they mail it to you, you're done because it's like refrigerated. They can't take it back. Um, so I'm still on it now. I have since canceled the subscription. So I'm on it again now. In the gap when I stopped taking it, I did gain back about 5 pounds, and I'm now holding steady at that weight. I'm not losing. I don't feel a whole lot different, maybe slightly. Um, and what I'm getting a little bit into the weeds here, but the point that's really interesting that's coming up and that kind of freaks me out a little bit is just, is this my body and lifestyle's natural trajectory? That if I eat the way I want and exercise or don't in the way that's natural to me, bye, Lynette. If I do those things, am I just on a path to consistent weight gain the rest of my life if I don't take these meds? That freaks me out, especially given the other half of my family's, that the father side of my family and looking at him. I don't know what that looks like, but it does appear to be something I inherited and something I will have to reckon with. So when this prescription is done, if I don't see a change, if I don't see weight loss, I am likely going to try a different medication. I've heard Mounjaro is the better one. I will keep you all posted over time. But what I will say is having maintained this like 15 or so pounds off, I look better. I can see it. And as some of these other stories are showing, like I am dating again and I'm last year like went on many dates with, not many, but like by my standards after 2 years of kind of avoid, uh, it does seem to have worked that I am more attracted to the kind of men I want to date. And I don't know if that it's all my weight, but that's certainly not her. Not doing any harm. So that's probably a story for another day because there's also the story I wrote about Botox that I haven't shared yet as part of this project, but I wrote last year that a year ago at the same time I decided it was time to start giving into beauty culture and getting Botox, and I started these meds. I am undeniably better looking than I was a year ago because of those two things. Better living through needles will be a story I write at some point. Oh, I see there's a comment here. Let me come in and see it. Part of it is the US food culture, as we can see with 80% or whatever of the population being overweight. Yeah, that's probably true. I agree with you that that is probably part of the problem, Linnea. Um, so let's all just move to Europe and live there. That would be nice. Okay. Um, the next story is related. It's about my dad and dementia. I'm going to see him next week. I'm going to Florida. You will see we'll call it a top secret spy location on the Daily Whatever show, but the 10 of you can hear that I will be visiting family. I'll be staying with my mom. It's midwinter break. I'm pretty excited about it. I hate Florida, but Florida for a few days is wonderful this time of year, and it'll be great to see my family and go to the beach. I won't see Kira. She'll be staying here, but it'll be nice to have a break from being a pet parent for a few days. Um, Linnea, you said writing commune in Europe. I've thought about it. Trust me. I'm like, do I need to sell my house in Seattle in this very expensive neighborhood and buy in like rural Ireland or something, like buy a farm with no animals and just like have a bunch of my writer friends all come live or visit there and we sip strong Irish tea and I don't know, just lead a chill existence and write. It sounds so nice. Hi, Ashley. Welcome. Um, maybe one day. That day is not today, but maybe one day. So I don't have a big update about my dad beyond what I just shared with the last story of, this is an update actually, because it's related and I didn't say it before. We heard back from his doctor who comes to visit once a month. And she said his weight is still trending up, which is weird because he lives in a nursing facility, right? But he's still gaining weight. And they recommended maybe he go on Mounjaro to manage his weight and his cravings. And then it was but you'd have to pay someone to come in once a week and give him the shot. And he pays, it's his money so far. It will be on us if it runs out. But just thousands and thousands of dollars every month to live in this nursing center, this memory care. We also pay for the private aide who sits with him and keeps him company pretty full time and who also he needs help getting ready for bed, out of bed in the morning and getting dressed and showered and all that, and then getting to bed. He can't do it on his own. And so we have to hire someone in addition to the, I don't know, $6,000 or $7,000 a month we're paying for the center to do that care. Now we would need to pay someone else apparently who could come in and give him a shot once a week, a shot that's so easy to administer. I mean, I do it to myself. What the fuck is wrong with our medical care system? Like, he's living in a nursing home, but I think there's one nurse for the entire facility. They're aides. They have figured out how to make more money by not hiring nurses and passing the burden on to the patient and family. But it's obscene. So that's all I have to say about that. So I don't think we're going to try Mounjaro as the first start. We're going to try a more calorie-restricted diet. I wish them luck, though. He seems to be sneaking food. But yeah, Linnea, surely the home would be able to do it somehow. I imagine it's a liability reason that someone who doesn't have a nurse's license can't give the shot, or maybe they can't be responsible for storing the medication because it has to be refrigerated. I don't know. I haven't asked yet because this is new, but I'm like, how can you live in a nursing home and you can't give him this simple weight loss medication? If he had diabetes and had to have insulin shots, would he need us to hire someone to come in and do the shots? It's so frustrating. So that's the behind the scenes there. I'm going to ask them when I'm in the facility next week and say, like, so explain this to me. How can you call yourself a skilled nursing facility when you don't have skilled nurses here? I don't think giving a tiny little injection like this is very skilled. I do it, and I have no medical background of that sort. I give my cat her insulin shots. I am full of needles in my life. It's not hard. So anyhow, that is the update on that story. Rick Scott took all the money. You're probably right, Jason. So I'll let you know how it goes with my dad. We'll see if I have some sort of spark of a story. He generally inspires one, which is really interesting to me because I haven't thought of him as someone who necessarily has inspired a lot of like the good parts of my life, other than maybe trying to avoid some of the patterns I learned from him. But he certainly inspires me as a writer right from the beginning. So I'm grateful to him for that. And then the final story. Hold on, let me sip the tea as I spill the tea. Mm, that is, oh my gosh. Okay. This just in, hold on. I'm seeing my text messages. My daughter, who is a new adult, just asked me, would you ever get a matching tattoo with me? Of course I would. Let me write her back and say that. I see a story forming there, huh? Um, oh, and she's sending me ideas. Okay, well, that's gonna be fun to look through. I absolutely would do. Uh, what does this say? Okay. Yes. Yes, I would absolutely get a matching tattoo with her. I only have one tattoo, and it's back here. I really want one here on my right arm, and I have for years, and can't quite think of what I want to put there permanently. I wanted to have it be my children's art, and I asked over the years, like, "Hey, draw this, draw me a little illustration of the two of you. Draw me this." By the time they're done, they think it's cringy, and they hate their old art so much that I'm really glad I don't have it displayed on my forearm because every time they saw my arm, they'd be like, "Ew," and I don't want that. So, oh, these are cute. Actually, I kind of like that first one that she sent me. Hmm, how interesting. It looks like there's more. Oh, 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 little sparrows. Okay, those are cute. I'll have to have a conversation with her when this is over. All right, let's talk about the men who still open me. The essay I posted on Monday. Why have I not been sharing links? Oh, I'm not going to share links here. You all are here because you've read these stories. I don't need to keep posting them. So, this was a story that was extremely meta, right? Um, oh, I love that. My daughter and I can't read it on my phone, a Latin phrase, she flies by her own wings. That's beautiful. I love that. Um, so The Men Who Still Open Me, very meta story, came to me in a flash. I wrote it really quickly by my standards, like within a few days of having the idea. And it was addressing this pattern that I found myself as I check the metrics on I write out loud, and then I check the metrics on Gen XC, the Daily Whatever show. I would search to see what a few men were doing in terms of looking at my work, men who um, I had been or was romantically involved with. And I mean, by check, pretty much daily. And what I found was they were checking me daily too, or erratically. And so the question that's never asked in the essay, but that is kind of the through line of the essay is this idea of like, I'm clearly signaling to get their attention. And am I doing it because I want them to come forward? Or am I doing it because I want them to go away and to stop? And I don't have an answer. I still don't have an answer. I could tell you what happened, and I will tell you what happened. But it was a really interesting thought that hit my head the morning I woke up and it had gone live here at 5:08 a.m. because all these stories go live at 8:08 a.m. Eastern time of like, why do you do that, Dana? And so I have updates. The story it's presented as a bunch of narratives, but it's primarily around three men. And one of them I haven't really written about before. So they're both the two of them are intentionally not named, the two who are in my past. So I won't give them names here. I will probably eventually write more about this person. Um, this was a very intense, very short-lived, I don't know what you want to call it, love affair, whatever it was, window of time, um, followed by a very quick unraveling, his mentally. He fell apart, and again was in very big circumstances in his life, and I knew that going in, and I didn't let that stop me. Put a pin in that, as we'd say in corporate land, because I'm gonna come back to that theme. And he swore up and down in very quiet, rational ways as we were onboarding of like, I know this split is separate. This He was leaving a very long-term marriage. I know it's very recent, but I'm very much over it, and I'm monogamous and very much wanting to get into a new partnership with you. I like everything about you. I turned off the apps right away. Um, and so I believed what was in front of me. And then I watched in a sense of horror as at the unraveling. Um, and so as I wrote this essay, I could see that even though he was gone, he was still unraveling. Because I could see this was the one where in one day within a 6-hour window, this man opened my content 17 different times. Um, and I was like, wow, that's a lot. And that happened as I was writing. And then the next day, just as happened in real life, poof, he exited. He unsubscribed, which was pretty much how he ended things. He pretty much just unsubscribed to me very coldly over text, very corporate voice. I'm sorry that I didn't say I'm sorry. Just I cannot be the person you need me to be. um, so this person, I don't know if he saw this essay because it was almost like he knew. Couldn't have known, but it was almost like he did because the day before it went live, he and I went to, to open him and his name pulled a blank and he was only on Substack to read my stuff. The profile is still there, but no follows, no nothing. So, Ashley, you're asking why? I have no idea because I don't know him anymore. So that person is no longer someone I need to open because he is no longer opening me. Phew. Um, I also write about Mason, not his real name, but this is someone I've written about quite a few times. Mason is quite a bit of this story. Was a longer relationship, not crazy long, but in the months versus weeks, and has been gone for some time, but has continued to open me daily or nearly daily. Actually, let me make sure I'm not lying because I haven't checked today and I meant to. So I'm going to check this in real time before I give my final pronouncement. This is a person who is subscribed both on Gen Xie and on me personally, so I have to check two places. And the story is one that I shared on here first on I Write Out Loud, and then I cross-posted it to Gen Xie. So it did go out to both audiences. Before I lie, but I don't think I am. I think I know what's happening here. Real time. Yes. So um, the mail went out to Gen Xie on the 3rd. Wait, what's today's date? Hold on, I have to look at a calendar. I believe that was, yeah. So the story posted on the 2nd, on Monday, on I Write Out Loud. It posted on the 3rd on Gen Xie. So he got it on the 3rd. He opened it on the 3rd. He opened it twice on the 4th, and he opened it on the 5th. But he has not received a single email since. That's the last email he received. Let me go to my personal one and just verify that it's still true over there as well. Spilling the tea. And hold on, my connection is being a little slow. Is this riveting? I should have had this pulled up already, but I was like, I want to make sure that this is the latest, greatest information. He did open that email on the 2nd when received. He received and opened the email I sent out on the 3rd, so the same day, has not received an email since. So I'm assuming what this means, but he's still subscribed. and a paid subscriber, so could be watching this. Hi, if you're watching this. So it appears that reading this story and recognizing what I'm doing and what he's doing, he has. I believe there must be a way to flag as do not send me emails anymore. Not unsubscribed, can still go read or listen if he wants to, but is not getting the pings in his inbox. So again, there's nothing to track anymore, really, which is, it feels quiet to me. And as I said, I didn't know if I was doing this to try to get contact from these men or to make them go away. And it has made them, well, it has made them go away. The one went away slightly before. He went away on his own. And this one who has been persistently there has gone away. And it is the healthier path forward, probably, that for both of us. So good. I wish this person well. I really do. I have immense empathy for them, even as I have sorrow around how it ended, and some anger too of how it unwound. But mostly at this point, it's just sorrow and for what could have been, and for him, because he is not in a space where he could handle a me or what a relationship with me would involve. So it is really nice that I no longer need to check to see who is opening me, that it feels like evolution. And the third person in the story is someone who is in my life right now. So I don't know what will come to be with that person. And it's nice having someone who is opening me and opening up to me in real life and not someone who I feel like is simply consuming my content. It's very new and we will see what happens, but it is a really delightful contrast. So, I don't feel compelled to go look and see, oh my gosh, did he read this? Did he open it? Because we talk about my work. So there's no need. And that is what, that is far more healthy and good for me. So I think I'm blushing now. I'm blushing a little bit. I might be blushing. I'm matching my hair. Oh, Jason is saying you can get notified only via the app. And maybe that's happening. I don't think I would have visibility then to if that person, these people are reading, or watching, and that's okay. It is, well, this one is not publicly available, but he is a paid subscriber, so he might be here. Not right now, but that would be a strange feeling as I'm acknowledging it in real time, but also like, okay, I don't write or say things on the internet that I wouldn't write or say in person. So I feel okay about it. Do you, is the last guy the one who was worried about dating a writer? Yes. So I did run this story by him. And he's so interesting, and his circumstances are so interesting that there could be a lot of stories to come from there, but I don't know that there will be. But I believe him to be a very good and grounded human being. So I'm happy to know him and hope I continue to know him in whatever capacity the future may hold. We'll see. That is a story yet to be written. With that is the entire week from last week. I'm going to come back here and read some comments. And if you all have questions about any of these stories, please ask them. And then I'm going to shift to what's coming next week and get your point of view. So let's see. Ashley says, "You are such an incredible, talented writer and creator." Thank you, Ashley. That means so, 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 so much. I can't express enough how, like, the glow that's here from having started this project and the way you all have responded to my writing. It's like, it's I hate to say it's giving me life because that's a trite expression, but it really is. It's like making me glow all over. And there's nothing that can mean more really than that. It's just it's wonderful. Your support means so much. Your financial support is just boggling my mind. It's so immense and so kind. And yeah, it, the, but mostly just people responding to my writing is um, I'm kind of powerless to it. So thank you. Let's see here. So many people can learn from you. Thank you. If there are no questions, I'll keep an eye to the chat here. So if you have questions, say them, but I don't want to go too much. I want to stop right at 11 a.m. my time so that, I know everybody's got their Sundays, their Super Bowl parties, what have you, all the things. So here's my question about next week. First of all, I have a news story. I was up very late writing it and kind of got to a point where I was like, I'm too exhausted to know if this is any good. I revisited it. I woke up actually this morning with a bunch of new ideas, kind of brain dumped them in, and um, reread it right before we came on. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good one, I think. So that story is going to be about, it will also be a dating and relationship story. I'm hoping to get it up Monday. Might be Tuesday because I don't know if I'm going to have time to fully edit it and record it and make the image. I will probably make an image and record something straight away that I know is ready first for Monday. But this story is going to be about the experiment I did after my summer relationship ended and I started dating again and found some patterns in the men I was seeing and patterns in myself and my own sense of hypervigilance that I was uncomfortable with. I turned to ChatGPT. And so this story is called ChatGPT is My Wingman. That may change a little, but that's the idea of it. It's how I needed pattern recognition from an unbiased source to help me date and how helpful it's been. So it's somewhat of a how-to guide, but it's more kind of a narrative and how I got there and what I've learned and what's happened since. I hope you will enjoy it. It will be coming soon. But for the other stories coming this week, I see it going one of two paths, and I wanted to get your points of view. The first path is it's Valentine's Day week. And so I thought it could be a week of stories that all focus around dating and relationship because, Valentine's Day, hearts. Here, I'm going to click the hearts because I want there to be hearts on the screen when I say this. Valentine's Day, all the hearts in love. Oh, I'm not seeing the hearts come on my phone. Maybe it doesn't count if I'm the one making the hearts. I don't know. Um, thank you. Oh, I don't know if those are mine or yours, but happy to see the hearts coming up. Valentine's Day, all dating and relationship stories. Not that most of my stories are love stories. I don't know that any of them are. Oof, that's harsh, but they might not be. So that's path number one is to a full week of dating and relationship stories. Path number two, in my mind, I'm thinking of it as like story of origin stories. And I'll explain what that means. So I started writing a little less than 3 years ago, and there's certain themes I return to, which you've probably noticed. Dating and relationships is one of them. Parenting teens is another, and as a subset, parenting gender nonconforming kids, I ended up making a publication about that when my youngest went on her gender journey a few years back. I write about my dad and dementia. I write about kind of cultural, like feminist culture norms and beauty standards. Each of these themes has an origin story, where it started from. And so I was thinking of since week 1 of this project was kind of spontaneous and, stories that were moving me that I thought made a good pattern together. But what I'm realizing is, while I don't wanna post these in consecutive order because I think that's very uninteresting, I think in these early weeks, it makes sense to have a week where I post all the origin stories for my writing. I have a first story for parenting gender nonconforming kids. That one is called What to Expect When You Weren't Expecting a Gender Nonconforming Kid. That is also the story that kind of launched me on Medium. I have a story that launched a lot of the dating and relationship themes, or at least it's what made me start writing about dating and relationships online. That's called I Had a Little Our Relationship, and at the time, it documented a 6-year relationship of mine that had ended just a couple months before. So I wrote it in August of 2023. I was a pretty new writer to Medium. I was with this person when I started writing, but I wasn't writing about dating and relationship then because I was in a long-term relationship, and I didn't really have that much to say at the time. But the story about him is sort of the first one that set me free to write about relationships. So my question that I want to pose to all of you is, would it be more interesting in week 2 of I Write Out Loud to have it be themed uh, all stories that are dating and relationship focused, or to have it be origin story focused? So either say dating or origin stories in the chat, if you don't mind, if any of you are near enough to your keyboard or phone to put in an answer, I would take suggestions. And if you don't have any, I will make a game time decision and just make that choice. Hi, Laura. Welcome. And hi, Cheryl, too. I saw you join while I was talking. Origin story. Dating stories on Valentine's seems trite. I like your suggestion that it's also Friday the 13th week, Linnea, because my dating and relationship stories are kind of horror stories sometimes. So it could be both. But Shayla says dating, Linnea says origin story. So we've got a 1-1 tie, you guys. I have a bias, but I'm not going to share mine yet because I might be the tie-breaking vote. If anybody else has an opinion, I would love to hear it. And if not, I'm okay with that too. I don't want to embarrass anybody. I'm just grateful that you're here. It's so crazy having this like intimate little chat. Okay, I am going to assume that we are at a split, and that means I get to be the deciding vote. Oh, there's Laura, origin. So we're 2-1 origin story over dating stories. And don't worry, either way, these stories will all eventually come forward. Cheryl says, I'd be good with either with a little peace sign. I love that. Okay. My bias is, should I tell it yet? Anybody else have a vote before I say my bias? I'll count to 8, my favorite number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ashley says, your I Write Out Loud title is what caught my attention. I think you should continue writing whatever your heart will speak to. Thank you. That is so sweet. My heart wants to put the origin stories out this week. So it'll be this new story that I'm writing about dating a ChatGPT AI as my dating coach. But the other stories will all be origin stories. I don't know if I'm overtly going to say it's origin story week, like the British Bake Off says it's patisserie week, but it will be evident to all of you, and it will be a common theme running through that these are my origin stories. So I think it will be the one about parenting gender nonconforming kids, that one about dating and relationships. What will be my other 2 origin stories? The very first story I wrote was me yelling at the New York Times about menopause, and then I wrote a story about how Gen X women are the first ones to talk about menopause. But I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to put that in the. It is. I don't think that's quite an origin story, really. I have to think about that. There will be 2 other origin stories in there. One of them, the one about parenting just teens specifically. The origin story is probably middle-aged men keep ogling my 16-year-old. That is a story that whenever I post it always goes crazy. And the origin story about beauty standards is probably my story called Hello, I Have Amazing Boobs. And when I put it on Medium and on Substack, both far and away the most popular thing I've ever written, even though I dashed it off in about 30 minutes. And it's just it's just a story about my mammogram anxiety, but it has a picture of from here in a t-shirt. And yeah, people went crazy over it. And when I put it on Substack, I had a bunch of red pillars screaming at me about, women are nothing more than their bodies. It was funny. For a fun fact about that story, for a very long time, let me test it right now, actually. If you Googled amazing boobs, oh, wait, there's a typo. If you Googled amazing boobs, it was the top. Okay, I spelled it wrong twice now. It was the first search result for a really long time. It's no longer the first search result on Google. Oh, it's on page 2 though still. Hello, I have amazing boobs. I didn't mean to SEO myself into the word boobs, but here we are. I don't know if I want to post both of those stories this early, and I certainly don't want to post them both in the same week because they will be crazy. So I'm not sure what the other origin stories will be yet, but you all will find out. Didn't my dad get upset with me about my boob story? No, he doesn't know about that. SEO techniques we didn't know exist, right? And Ashley, you did win with the best answer of should continue writing whatever my heart will speak to. I think that's a wonderful answer. Thank you. I love that. Trying to think if I have anything else to add. We have a great week on the Daily Whatever Show all lined up. I'm super excited about our guests. I believe they are all new to us. No, Lawrence's show debuts next week, so I will not be on, or this week on Mondays. I will not be on tomorrow. It will be Lawrence's queer focus show, which is going to be called Not Straightforward. It's such a good name. And he has Aidan Wharton joining him, who I believe Lawrence had on once before when I was away. So I've never met him. He was new to me. But all the other guests are new. I am going to post the calendar later today. First, I'm going to go work on finishing this story for I Write Out Loud, getting tomorrow's story recorded. Hopefully my little dog cooperates. And maybe watching the Super Bowl, though I don't know. I have too many things to do. Oh my God, Jason, you have the perfect final line here. Jason has put in the chat, I'm Jewish. I think my mom is required to be disappointed in me. Yeah, or to ignore me and my creative outpourings. She does not read or listen to any of this, you guys. Isn't that weird? But I don't write about her. Then she would probably read it. But that's a very funny observation about Jewish moms. Thank you guys so much for being here. This was so fun. I love this small gathering. I love to be able to do this for those of you who are supporting me. I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. I will post this recap as a paid subscriber only story. I will include some of my daughter's art in that post. I think that's okay. Oh my gosh, debating putting photos in, but I feel like that I shouldn't do that. That's a violation. I'm not going to ask consent of men I used to date to include photos. So never mind. I will not put that in there. And I've posted photos of my kids in the past, but I'm a little increasingly reluctant to do that now. So perhaps just images of her art is best for safety's sake. Thank you. I think you're amazing too, Ashley, and so kind and so caring. Thank you. And yes, I can't wait to hear what you think of my daughter's art because I think it's extraordinary. Both of my daughters do extraordinary art. This will just be my eldest, although maybe I'll put one in from my younger daughter because she is also amazing. She's still 15. does not applying to colleges yet. So she will be home with us for a couple more years at least. You wish I could do this podcast every day. Oh my gosh, Ashley, that's so sweet. Well, I do podcast every weekday for I Write Out Loud, recapping my stories. So this is just the extra behind the scenes. And thank you. I'm so glad, Amanda, that this was a great way to start off your Sunday, and you're welcome. You said thanks for inviting us into your world. Thank you for entering my world. It means so much. I am really going to go hang up now and go get back to work. These podcasts don't record themselves. This writing doesn't write itself. Ha ha ha. All right. Loving meeting you guys. Bye.